All right, good morning. So this right here is the introduction to the camp, kind of going over the lay of the land and how this is all going to work and roll out. Again, another required video that you guys all need to view to kind of get an idea of how things look so we can be adequately prepared rolling into this, minimize the amount of questions and uncertainties we can have. So here, quick PowerPoint. All right, so the Calvert Football Youth Camp introduction. Number one, camp mission. Here's the bottom line, okay? We've gone over what the counselors should do and the coaches and how important it is for us to be professional in that regard and be uncommonly great as counselors and coaches. But here's the overall mission of the camp. We do want to provide great instruction, and there's no question that we've got some great coaches and we got football players with great IQ that are going to be hosting this camp. But we also want to provide an experience that's an encouragement and adds value to our kids. We want to coach to the heart. All right. It's easy to teach X's and O's. It's easy to do all those things, but we want to inspire these young men and young ladies to be something bigger than they are when they show up. We certainly don't want the football experience for our campers to be the only experience at our camp. And when they leave, no longer be inspired to play the great game of football. So that's part of the camp mission. All right. And of course, we want to bring honor. We want to bring pride to our school community, our football program, and our teammates and ourselves in the midst of this. So those are the things that are really important and encapsulate our camp mission. Counselors and coach positions. So we all have a very important responsibility. We have three different camps lined up through Calvert Football's youth camp. We have a 101 division, a 102 division, and a 103 division. The 103 division is our incoming Cavaliers. That number is probably going to grow a little bit. We'll get more and more players as we go. The 102 is the middle school kids. Some fifth graders might be mixed in there depending on how their parents signed them up. And then the 101, which is our elementary school kids. So in all of them, they all have so much value. And so I don't want anybody to feel like if I'm here, I'm not as good or I'm slated because I'm over here. No, there is a lot of times people think that the 101 camp is where we stick those who, aren't as worthy of doing the 102, 103. And it's quite the opposite. And in fact, both have great value. Whereas at the 102, 103, we're going to need guys to be able to take the initiative, step in, be a mentor and a role model for these coaches that are going to be leading a lot of these drills and be able to be high on their football IQ. It might be a guy who's relatively new that we have there. So I want them to see the football experience from that perspective so they can kind of learn and grow for the upcoming football season. I think about those things a lot. And of course, when it comes to filling out the counselors for the 101 group, I want to have guys that I believe are going to be one go-getters, guys that they'll listen and are ready to take up the role of being a great innovator and take the initiative when necessary. And they're going to be great with those young kids. We're going to have to coach on the fly. You're going to see me do a lot of things with giving instruction and then expecting you guys to articulate and model that instruction with those kids. And that's important. And so when you think about those things, we've got kids in different positions, or you guys in different places because you guys bring value to those places. Certainly, we could have any one of you guys do the 102, 103, or any one of you guys do the 101. I really believe that, but we have to balance it out and get as many players in all the different places as possible. And we need to make sure that we sell the value of this camp and sell the value who we are as Cavaliers so we pour into these young people. And so the other thing that I think I want to add to it as well, when you talk about the 101 guys, for example, the energy and the juice is important. And so I've always got to think about, do I have the right guys in place to make sure that they're going to really focus in and keep those young guys going? And so it obviously would not be an important place for us to be putting a sense of attention to detail to if I personally, the head coach of the program, wasn't down there running the 101 group. The camp field layout, we're going to go over that, but obviously we're situated on the fields, our practice fields behind the bleachers. Many of you guys saw how the fields were laid out. All right, so the field that was laid out with lines closest to the shed, that's obviously going to be one of the 102 and 103 campers are going to be, sleds, all those things are going to be there for that purposes. And then everything to the left will be where we're going to be doing the 101 group. Now, I did talk to the coaches yesterday and let them know that there's a chance that you may need some more space, and we could probably give some of that space up on the 103 side, but those fields are situated the way they are for a particular reason. All right, camp shirts. Camp shirts were supposed to come in today, but they mailed them with the kids' camper shirts. So right now we're estimated delivery for Friday. I'm a little bitter about that, but it is what it is. We're going to adapt. When those shirts come in, you will get them and you will wear them daily. But right now, I don't know if we're going to have them today. I think it's highly unlikely to have them for the day. So you need to make sure you bring something blue or gold, something that represents Calvert High, something that represents Calvert football or whatever, and show up in that. And we'll use that today along with, your regular shorts and cleats or tennis shoes that you may be wearing. Check-in. Today is check-in. And you guys will always, as I said during the counseling video, check in prior to any kids showing up. Today, the kids are going to come in to register at 5:30. They're going to come into the field house. We'll have tables set up. There'll be ladies there making sure that those kids come in and check in. After the day, they will no longer come in and check in into the field house. They will go directly to the fields. And they'll have to know where they should be. And that's why it's important today that you guys are there, obviously at 4:30 today, set the fields up, and then you guys can start coming back down to the field house so that way we can start grabbing the campers as they come in and take them to the designated areas. Down again, closest to the field, to the fence line to create for lacrosse, away from the shed is where the one-on-one campers are going to go. They're going to be sectioned in two different groups. Younger group's going to be the Wolverines. The older group in the one-on-one group, which is like your 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, are going to be the Tigers. And then the 102 group, which is where the defense is going to start for today, I believe. All right, the 102 group. Or maybe it's, I got to look at it. We're going to go over that in a minute. They're going to just kind of get those guys over, but you won't travel. Those counselors won't travel with the 102 group. If you're with the offense, you're going to be coaching offense. If you're with the defense, you're coaching defense the entire time for both the 102 and 103 group. But the 102 group is going to be out there on one side of the field. The 103 is going to be the other. The 102 is obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, and the 103 are the Cavaliers. All right. Day to day, Wednesday. We're obviously getting there early, but the camp starts at 6. Kids are going to start checking in at 5:30. We're going to get done at 8:30. Plan to stay as long as it needs to be to get the field cleaned up. Plan to be there at 4:30 unless you told me otherwise because you have a job requirement or something like that. It's going to get you there late. All right. Again, we talked about being a proper counselor. All of us have the responsibility to clean up the field. Do not walk off in your own direction. We want to make sure that the fields get cleaned up as fast as possible so that everybody can leave here tonight at a reasonable time. And that's going to be the way it's done each day. We won't have to be here at 4:30 on Thursday or Friday. Most likely just 5 o'clock will be suitable because I think at that point we'll have an understanding of the way the day is going to roll and run. And yet, again, anticipating the kids coming in on Thursday and Friday will be showing up between 5:30 and 5:45 for the camp because we will start at 6 o'clock on time. We want to make sure that we're here at least 15 minutes before those kids arrive so that way we're not pulling things out and getting things set up while the kids are getting here. All right. Weather contingencies. I've talked to the parents, sent them an email and a video talking about what the weather contingencies look like. If we have a spot thunderstorm show up, and we were going to encourage those kids to go to their vehicles, we will go to the field house. And if there's any kids whose parents aren't here, they will go to the field house with us. You will be in the field house, not in the locker room on your own, helping police and keep those kids calm and under control. That's if a spot thunderstorm shows up. If by chance we can see it any day this week that storms are going to arise and they might wash out the afternoon, what we'll do is let's just say hypothetically speaking, Thursday afternoon, we're going to have a washout. We won't be able to get the camp in at all. Well, then we'll push Thursday's instruction to Friday, and we'll push Friday's instruction to Saturday. And Saturday won't be 9 to 11. It'll be 8 to 11. And instead of us having the quote-unquote combine that we typically do on Saturday, we'll just add the instruction, and then we'll finish off with the food and festivities that we have there at the end, refreshments. So that will still be the case. We'll still have our team photo, youth camp photo. That all happens still on Saturday, but we won't have necessarily the combine. If Saturday does go well and the whole week goes off without a hit or without a glitch, then Saturday will be a huge combine event, which is a lot of fun that you guys put on. And then we will, of course, still have the refreshments and the festivities there at the end that we kind of get to be a part of. And we will enjoy, some food before we leave. And again, Saturday, we would get done at 11. Parents will start to leave, but then we will have to hang out and make sure the entire field is cleaned up and everything's put away and things are staged for us to leave on Monday morning to shepherd. And so that's all important. So you make sure you need to plan that we're going to be there no later, probably around 12. And again, all of us, myself included, have other things we want to do on Saturday. And so it's important that we all put our hands on deck. We all work together to get things done so that way we all can leave at a reasonable time. Many hands make light work and fast work. Saturday, if things go the way they should go, we'll probably arrive there about 7:45, maybe 8 o'clock. It depends on what it looks like this week, because that combine that we do takes a little bit of time to set up. We're going to use the sleds, we'll have some tires, we'll do all kinds of cool things to make sure that goes. I'm going to pause this video here in a minute and go over the practice plans, but want to be sure that we have this covered, and I'll create another video just for the practice plans. So bear with me. To be continued.